welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my birth/delivery story time. So to start it off, a couple of weeks before this at one of my doctor's appointments, we had scheduled an induction date. She asked me, my OBGYN asked me if I wanted to schedule an induction date or just wait and see if she would come on her own. And of course, I said an induction date, okay? So we set it for April the 14th. So she told me to come in the night of the 13th. Okay, so fast forward to the 13th. I had started a video on there. Y'all know a little bit about what I'm about to say, those who've watched my birth vlog. So on the 13th, we went to the hospital and we got there around like 8:30. So they started to put my IV in. I had to change my clothes into the gown. They started giving me medicines. I can't remember the exact names because I didn't really pay that much attention. They gave me a pill to soften my cervix. And you know, in labor and delivery, when you're in labor, they come in and check you every like 3 hours, I think it was. Anyways, they come and check you every 3 hours. They come and check your cervix and see if it's dilated. So at first, I was still 1 centimeter before they gave me the pill to soften my cervix, the first one. So I was also on a heart monitor, which goes around your pregnant belly, and it monitors the baby's heart rate and the contractions. The monitor showed that I was having contractions, but I didn't feel any. Down on the line, they progressed and started to get worse and worse. A couple of hours go by, maybe like 3 or 4. No, I would say a couple more. I didn't really keep track of time, but they had checked me again and I was 2.5 centimeters dilated, but my cervix was kind of still tight and hard. So she gave me another pill to soften my cervix. A couple of hours go by after that, and then she checks me again, 4 to 5 centimeters dilated. And this was around maybe like 7 o'clock, 7 something in the morning, the 14th. And she was going to walk out of the room, and then all of a sudden my water breaks. And I'm just like, oh, I think my water just broke. And it was just so much, like, it just kept pouring out for like 5 minutes. She comes back and she cleans me up and everything. I forgot to mention this, but when I was 2.5 centimeters dilated, my contractions were really, really bad, and I was hurting so bad. My back was hurting. So I asked them if they could give me something for it, and then the lady says, yes, I'll go get it. So she comes back in with some medicine, and I ask her, you know, I'm like, how would this make me feel, and how would, you know, it affect me, because I didn't want to be like out of it when I had her, because I wanted to experience and be in the moment. She told me that this medicine would make me she said it would make me sleepy, and she said it might not take the pain away. And this medicine was called morphine. She gave it to me through my IV, and I was out of it. I wasn't here at all. I was a little bit, but I could not stay awake, could not keep my eyes open, and it was just horrible. I didn't like it. So now, back to when my water breaks. I'm 4.5, 5 centimeters dilated, and my water breaks, and then she comes in, she cleans me up, and then they take me back to get my epidural. And from 2.5 centimeters to 4 to 5 was about an hour or 2 after they had given me that medicine. And so the doctor had told me, considering that I was 4.5, 5 centimeters dilated, that I was going to give birth in like the next 30 minutes. So then a doctor and a nurse comes in, and they make my mom and Keyman leave the room, and they give me my epidural. They give me my epidural 1 or 2 hours after they had given me the morphine, which is not good. So I was like all the way messed up. When the epidural kind of started to work, I only felt it in my right side. I felt it a little bit in my left side, but then again, it wasn't as much as it was on the right side, so I could feel it was going to one side more than the other. After they give me the epidural and everything, I go back to my room and they check me maybe 5 minutes later, 5-10 minutes later, and I'm dilated to a 7. Okay, and then she calls another nurse in there, and then she checks me about 5 minutes after that, and then I'm 8 centimeters dilated, and they're like, okay, well, you're about to have your baby. The OBGYN comes in, and she checks me, and she feels that Ivy's hand was above her head like this, and she was just waving her fingers around, and they could just feel her. And then she told me, she was like, okay, baby's got her hand above her head, we'll have to go in for emergency C-section. And so I was like, okay, you know, just whatever you can do to get her out, because she was talking about how she can't pull her out like that, she'll come out hand first. So then they get everything ready, they put the cap on, they put everything on me for the C-section, and so they take me back to the room. And while I'm laying in the bed, I'm trying my hardest to keep my eyes open, and I just could not keep them open whatsoever. My eyes were like literally shut, and I could not open them. So then we get back to the C-section room, and I see everything in there, and oh my God, it just scares me so bad. Like, I just have this feeling. So I go in there, they get everything ready, and then my mom, she actually went in there with me. You could only have one person back there, so she went back there with me. And they put my bed beside this bed, and then they picked me up and put me on another one. And so then they touched me on my stomach and asked me if I could feel this. They touched my legs, asked me if I could feel it. And I was like, no, I can't feel it. Okay. So then they have everything ready. And then my OBGYN, my gynecologist, she tells me that she's about to start cutting, and I'm going to feel a little bit of pressure. So she starts cutting, and I didn't really feel that part, but she gets me open, and I keep on feeling something, and it just hurt so bad. Like, it didn't only feel like pressure, but it felt, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like pressure times 10. So I told them, I was like, I can feel this, and it hurts so bad. It hurts. One of the doctors tell me, okay, well, I'm going to give you some more medicine through your IV. Okay, so she gives me more medicine, and I guess she gave me more morphine. I think I was on like 3 different types of medicine, I kid you not. And she put more in my IV, and then it made me go to sleep. And, you know, the crazy thing is, I would dream. Like, I dreamed when I was asleep, when they were pulling me out, which is kind of weird. As they were pulling her out, I could feel them pulling her out, and it wasn't just pressure feeling, it was like that times 10. I told them that, and like I said, they gave me more medicine, and then I just go to sleep, and then I wake back up, and I hear them talking, and she came out, but she wasn't breathing, and you know, she was just lifeless. So then they call the pediatrician that was on call at the hospital into the C-section room, and he comes in, and he gets her breathing, and he gets her going, and all I remember from that whole entire time was telling them that it hurt, and then hearing them say that they got her breathing. And then I heard them say that she was 20 inches long. She's actually 19 and a half, according to the pediatrician. So they take her back, and, you know, they work on her and everything and make sure she's okay. And they're sewing me up, and that's when I wake up, and I look up, and I'm just trying my hardest to focus. And, you know, the medicine was just now trying to wear off. It didn't for a couple of hours. And my epidural, I had her at 8:32, I think it was. And my epidural did not wear off till about 8 something that night. Then they're sewing me up and everything. They take her back. I finally can catch a little bit of focus, and then I get back to, no, I don't go to the same room. I go to a postpartum room, and the labor and delivery nurses were not good at all. When I would ask what happened, you know, like, no, actually, I think I did go back to my labor and delivery room after for a minute. I'm not sure. I think I had the same nurse after I went into the postpartum room or something like that. I can't really remember to be exact. But The labor and delivery nurses couldn't tell me nothing. Like, I would ask them so many questions. She would just look at me. Like, if you don't know, then go find out. You know, like, this is a big situation here. I need to know. But anyways, I get to the postpartum room and the nurses are so nice and they're the best. But yeah, I get to my postpartum room and, you know, I'm finally waking up from all the medicine and everything. I'm still tired. You know, I've took like so many naps. And they come in there and they tell me that, you know, me and my mom, we tried to figure out for so long what happened. We asked so many people. We told them to come in the room to tell us exactly what happened because we didn't know. Nobody told us anything. And also during my C-section, I had lost so much blood. Like, I had lost my skin color. It's just now starting to come back, and it's been a week and 1 day since I've had her. But they gave me iron pills and everything in the hospital, so that kind of helped too. But my mom said she saw it too, and it was really bad. But I also didn't get told that either. You want to try to make sure that you pay attention to everything, because I promise they will not. If you're going to have a baby soon, you're going to Walker Baptist, just make sure you try to figure out everything, because let me tell you, if you don't, then you're not gonna know. Anyways, I'm back to the postpartum room and the nurse comes in and she tells me that Ivy, my daughter, has to stay in the nursery for 2 days, that she couldn't come out. She said I could go in there and see her when my epidural wears off. She said I could possibly go and see her that night. And before this, when I couldn't see her or couldn't hold her, I cried and cried and cried, and it was just horrible. Like, I hated it so much, and it just made me so upset, like, so many thoughts. And it was just, I mean, I'm just now getting to where I can talk about it without crying, because it's still, like, it still hurts me so bad. And just remembering that feeling, yeah, it was painful. It was really bad. The nurse also tells us that she had had some breathing problems. I'm trying not to cry. Trying so hard. She had told us that she had had some breathing problems in the nursery. So she told us that while the nurse was feeding her in there, that she had stopped breathing, that her oxygen levels dropped. And that actually happened twice. And she was hooked up to an IV, given all these antibiotics and everything like that. It was just horrible, but thankfully it was just those 2 times. It hasn't happened again. Hopefully it won't ever happen again. When that happened, the nurse rubbed her chest and, you know, it helped her, and she started back. And after hearing all that, of course I was upset, crying. I didn't know what to do, because, you know, I couldn't do anything, and that is the worst feeling ever, when your child is going through something and you can't help them in any way. Later that day, my epidural finally wears off, and they tell me I can go in there and see her. So I couldn't really walk that good. I really didn't want to, because I was in so much pain. So she came in there with a wheelchair and she took me into the nursery, and I got to hold her and I got to see her. Keyman did too, and it was just great. Just very emotional. Yeah, they took me back to that room and slept there, and then I had her Thursday. We went up there Wednesday, and then we had stayed till Saturday. We went up there and we stayed till Saturday. We got to leave a little earlier on in the day. I guess it ends it there, really. But Ivy is perfectly fine now. She's healthy. She's had no problems. And she is just all around amazing, besides the keeping me up at night. It's going to be a little harder to film and to post videos because I am here with a newborn. I do have a little bit of time here and there when she sleeps, but usually I use that time for my rest because, like I said just a second ago, She keeps me up all night. She will sleep all day and she will not sleep barely none at night. That was my birth story time because my birth vlog wasn't that specific and I didn't get to film the birth. I'm just so glad we are here where we are today instead of where we was that day. But that was my story time of my birth, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope it was a little bit more detailed and more explaining than the birth vlog was, because I know that was kind of all over the place and I wasn't even talking right. But yeah, we're here and we're doing perfectly fine. She will be in some more videos, but right now she's with my mom, so she's not here right now. After this video, I'm about to take a nap. Soon I will be doing videos with her, but for right now, I don't really want to do that. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. I will maybe in about a couple of weeks, but for right now, we're just gonna keep it, you know me. I'm gonna end it here because I am really tired and I'm about to take a nap. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, turn your post notifications on for the next time I post. I will see you guys later.